welcome back. So today, what is the topic here? It's just the question answers. Okay, it's the exercise 1 regarding the structural organization in animals. So guys, if we see the weightage of your all chapters of the zoology, then according to that, the structural organization in animals, it constitutes about 18.3 weightage percentage. Alright, so the questions regarding the structural organization in animals, they constitute about 18.3. Alright, so beginning with this chapter, let's begin with the questions which are very important regarding the NEET pattern, you can say. Or so let's start with the first question. But first of all, guys, what I need to tell you is that whatever exam you are facing, first of all, try to clear your basics. Try to, don't mug up the things. Try to understand and try to remember. So if you are doing some, if you are learning or reading some theory, just try to make it flow chart and try to make it understand. And if you are, studying any anatomy or, not anatomy, you guys don't know what is anatomy, but you can say if you are studying any muscle or, in which you can draw the diagram and just label it, because when you draw, those things get stuck in your mind. They just stick to your mind. But when you mug up things, if you forget anything in between the lines or in between the paragraph or in between the chapter, so your whole thing is, whole thing is gone. So you will not able to recall whatever you have read. So just to make your basics clear, see the NEET exam, they have told, I have heard, and you must be knowing that this NEET, they prefer your your NCERT or CBSE books. The questions are from your own books, from your board books, not from the references and all, but it is from the board books. Board books, they are, they are written in the simple languages so that every and each person, every and each child can read it and understand it easily. So starting with the easiest question, I hope you all must be knowing the answer. So the question is, to which of the following categories does adipose tissue belong? So first of all, look at this word. What is this? It's adipose. And what does adipose means? Just try to remember, just try to remember the, the answer. If we talk about the question, the answer is in the question itself. What you need to do is just to try to understand what question means. So first of all, just try to understand to which of the following categories does adipose tissue belong. So this adipose tissue belongs to, you have to select one option from the 4 options, that which one is the correct option for this question. So adipose is basically what? It's a fat, isn't it? It's a fat storing cells. So if we talk about the epithelial tissue, so if you remember, these epithelial tissue, they do not have any fat content in them. So now coming to the, let's start with the neural. In neural tissues, do we have any layer of fat there? Does this fat have any function in the neural tissues? No, I don't think so, and it does not have. Let's talk about the muscular tissue. Muscular tissue, they constitute of, they are made up of muscles, smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, these straight and unstraightened muscles, isn't it? So they don't have any fat in them. Now coming to our next option, that is connective tissue. So guys, if you remember this connective tissue, we have different types of connective tissue, dense connective tissue, loose connective tissue, isn't it? So do you remember that in connective tissue, we have a layer of fat there? If you remember the classification of the connective tissue, that is loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue, and this adipose tissue, it belongs to the loose connective tissue. So that means this tissue, it does not have any fibers, because it is a, it's a one of the thing of this connective tissue. So these connective tissue, they have fibers, they have, they have different cells, they have cytoplasm, they have fat in them. So if we talk about these adipose tissues, this tissue have the adipose cells which produce the fat. So what is the function of the fat in in our body? You must be knowing that this fat, it acts as an insulating organ, or not the organ, insulating layer. And these fat cells, they provide, they form a layer of the fat around the organs. Alright, so this adipose tissue belong to the epithelium. No, it belongs to the connective tissue, because it is the adipose tissue is the loose connective tissue. It's one of the type of the loose connective tissue. So the correct answer will be connective tissue. So our perfect answer will be B, that is connective tissue. So guys, just try to find answer in the question and try to eliminate the options first. So if you are reading any question, just try to understand what question is saying, then think, and then just try to eliminate. Just think neural and epithelial. Neural, it does not have any fat inside it. It does not contain any fat tissues in it. And what do we talk about? The muscular tissue. Muscular tissue, it's just talking about the muscles. It's not, it's not about the fat. So these two options are gone, because this neural does not have any fat, muscular tissue does not have any fat. Now talking about this epithelial tissue does not contain any fat layer, isn't it? So this option is also gone. Now what is remaining? That's connective tissue. So try to eliminate the options first, and then if you have to, just try to concentrate and think what the question is saying and what the question wants. So the correct perfect answer will be connective tissue. As you all know, these adipose tissue, these are the fat producing cells. Fat producing tissue, or this adipose tissue, it have adipocytes. These are the adipocytes, are the fat producing cells, isn't it? So they are the fat, and fat is present in the fat layer. Fat is this adipose tissue is the type of the connective tissue. Alright, so this is about the when are you getting the idea? If you remember what adipose tissue is, then only you will be able to eliminate the options. So for the answers, you need to understand the question itself. So this was about the question number 1, that is, to which of the following categories does adipose tissue belong? The adipose tissue belongs to the connective tissue. It does not belong to the epithelial. It does not belong to the muscular as well as neural. So it belongs to the connective tissue. So this is about the adipose tissue. Alright, now beginning with the next question. This is about the skin. So guys, let's, I have to explain you all the layers regarding the skin. So this question we will do it in the last. So next question is, let me read the question. It's collagen is lipid, fibrous protein, globular protein, or carbohydrate. So first of all, what you need to know is, if we talk about this collagen, if we talk about what is collagen basically? Is it a protein? Is it a carbohydrate? Is it a fat? What is it? So if we talk about the collagen, you must have heard about the collagen fibers, isn't it? So this collagen is basically, what is it? Is it a lipid? Lipid means fat. So collagen is not a fat. So first of all, we will try to eliminate the options from the list. So if we talk about this lipid, so collagen is not a lipid, it's not a fat. So this thing is gone. So coming to the next fibrous protein, and if we talk about the globular protein, so first of all, let's differentiate between these fibrous and globular protein. So if we talk about the fibrous protein, And if we talk about the globular protein, so guys, this fibrous protein, this protein is basically a structural protein. And globular protein is basically a functional protein. So, structural protein and functional protein. Now, this fibrous protein, it helps in the, what is the basic, you can say role of it? It is structural. So, this fibrous protein, it helps in the structural formation. And what about the globular? It's a functional protein. It helps in the functions. So, if we talk about this fibrous protein, this is insoluble. Insoluble in water. And if we talk about the globular, it's soluble in water. Alright, so this is about these are the two things about the fibrous protein and two things about the globular protein. So, as I told you, lipid it's eliminated because collagen is not the fat. And what about the carbohydrate? Is collagen a carbohydrate? No, it's not the carbohydrate. So, what two things are remain there, two things we have, two things are left, that is fibrous protein and globular protein. So, I have explained here globular protein is a structural protein and insoluble, and globular is functional and insoluble, soluble in water. So, if we see this fibrous protein, these are the fibers, these protein form the fibers. So, collagen is basically what? It's a fiber. Collagen fibers, this collagen protein is basically used in the formation more commonly, or it's more, you can say commonly, mainly used in the composition or formation of the fibrous protein. So, what we see here, the two options, fibrous and globular. So, we have the fibrous and the globular. So, globular protein, these proteins, they are soluble in water first of all. Okay. So, they are soluble in water, as I have written here, they are soluble in water, and that means this protein, they are present in hemoglobin. Globulin, it's this protein, globular protein. We have amino acids. Alright. So, if we talk about this fibrous protein, it is the fibers, it is the protein which is present in the fibers. And different things. So, the collagen is basically the fibrous protein. So, this will be the correct option for the collagen. Alright, because it is this collagen. What is the function of the collagen? If we think about this collagen, it helps, as I told you, it's a structural protein, it's insoluble, and it strengthens, it supports, it strengthens the tissue. So, it helps in strengthening. So, this collagen, it helps in the strengthening of the tissue. So, it helps in the structural formation, and it is very insoluble in the water. And if we talk about this globular, they are functional and they are soluble in water. So, this collagen is basically a fibrous protein, because collagens are basically the insoluble fibrous protein. So, they are not the soluble globular proteins. So, you need to remember is that, first of all, we know that collagen is protein. So, now you need to differentiate between the globular or fibrous. So, it's very easy. The answer is fibrous protein. So, this is about this thing. Now, we will begin with the next question. What will be the next question? Let's see. Is it interesting or boring? Oh, let's read the question first. So, question is, histamine secreting cells are found in. So, if we talk about this is a histamine secreting cells are found in. So, what all options we have here is, first is connective tissue, second is nervous tissue, third is muscular tissue, and fourth is lung epithelium. So, we are talking about the cells. So, histamine secreting cells. So, we have to think about these secreting cells. So we have different cells, globular cells, we have glandular cells, isn't it? So those cells, they secrete any secretion. So now we have to think what kind of secreting cells these histamine are. What is the main purpose of this histamine? What is histamine? Alright, so this is, you can say these are the immune enzymes. Alright, so histamine, whenever bee stings you, if you remember, whenever bee stings you will see inflammation, redness over that area. So what happens there when the foreign body, or when you get the sting, or when you get that foreign thing in your body, these histamine secreting cells, they secrete the histamine, and the histamine, just with the help of the blood, it reaches that area where the injury is, and what they do, they protect. Alright, and why, when are these secretion, these cells which are histamine secreting cells, they do not secrete histamine all the time. So whenever you have any allergens, whenever any allergen is there, or you can say allergen only, or you can say any different thing which is not present in our body is there. So whenever the allergen is there inside our body, this histamine is released. So this histamine acts or protects, helps in the, or you can say it helps in the protection, or main function is the protection. Alright, so they counteract that allergen, that allergy, or you can say allergy. So these histamine, they counteract with that thing. So these cells, they secrete and they get counteract to allergen or allergies, and they help in the protection, they help to protect the tissue. Now if we talk about the lung epithelium, let's begin with this option. Lung epithelium, it does not secrete. Alright, it does not secrete, but it does have their receptors for the histamine cells. So these epithelium, it does not secrete the histamine itself. So this is gone. Now talking about the muscular tissue, they do not have any secreting cells inside them. They are muscle tissue. So they are striated and unstriated. Their function is contraction, relaxation, or you can say different things. So this option is also gone. Now talking about the nervous tissue. Our nervous tissue also does not have any secreting cells in it that can be used for the protection, or that can be used when we have any allergen in our body. So this option is also gone. So what is left there? This connective tissue. So this connective tissue, we have these cells there which are histamine secreting cells. Now this histamine is secreted by our which cell? Basophils, if you remember. So histamine is secreted by basophils. These are secreted by the basophils, or you can say mast cells. So what you have to remember is what cells are involved in our protection. So mast cells, macrophages, basophils, these all cells are involved in the protection. So histamines are, always remember that histamines are released in the allergy or allergen, when you have any allergy or when any allergen is produced. So these histamine is secreted by these basophils or mast cells just to protect the tissue. So our option will be this connective tissue. So secreting cells are found in the connective tissue. They are not found in nervous, muscular tissue or lung epithelium. So this is the question, fourth question here. So now beginning with so guys, these questions are very easy. If you have read all those things, all the things, then it's very easy for you to solve these questions. Okay, now begin with the Haversian canals occur in, Haversian, it's N here, don't get confused with the M. So Haversian canals occur in, these are the, what are these? Humerus, pubis, clavicle, scapula. These are the bones, isn't it? So humerus is a bone, pubis is a bone, clavicle is a bone, scapula is a bone. So what you have to do is that Haversian canals occur in. So these canals, they have arteries, and what are these canals? Basically, they have arteries, nerves in them. They supply, they provide the nutrients to the bone. So what if we talk about the scapula, clavicle, and pubis and humerus, what type of bones they are? If we talk about the humerus is, this is a long bone. Alright. If we talk about the pubis, clavicular, scapula, these are the flat bones. So this Haversian canals, they are not present in the flat bones. So what are these? These are the flat bones. Flat bones, they are spongy bones. Alright, so this Haversian canal, it's always present in, or you can say, what type of bone? Compact. Or bones which have trabecular pattern. So their Haversian canals are present. So this Haversian canals, these are present in flat bones? No. This option is gone. Clavicle is also flat bone. Pubic is also flat bone. So this is present in humerus. So humerus is our long bone. Alright. It's this bone which connects the shoulder to the arm. So this bone, this is humerus bone. So we have Haversian in femur, in tibia, in this, humerus. So humerus is the long bone and the option is A. So long bones have Haversian canals. So flat bones does not have Haversian canals in them. So this is it. This is about the Haversian canal. So first of all, guys, always remember, try to understand the question. What is question saying? Haversian canals. First of all, just when you see the question, just think, okay, oh, it's talking about the bones. So just think, what kind of bones have this Haversian canal? So the answer is long bones. And which one is the long bone? It's the humerus bone. So this is it. So fifth question. Now going to the next question. Alright, so what is the question? It's the name the organ lined by the transitional epithelium tissue. Okay, so we have to choose the organs. Okay, these are the options. We have 4 options and we have to name the organs that are lined by this transitional epithelium. So first of all, think about this transitional epithelium. What is transitional epithelium? So transitional epithelium, if you remember, this epithelium have the, it has one of the best quality, that is, it has the property to expand. So this transitional epithelium has property of expenditure or expansion. So transition means change from one state to another state, but for the temporary time, not for the whole time, not for the permanent purposes, but for the temporary purposes. So this transitional epithelium has a property of expansion, and so this is its property. What is the property? Expansion. So you need to remember that. Transitional epithelium is it has a property of expansion. Now coming to these options. So heart. Does heart expand? Yes, it does, but not that much, not in that way. It contracts and relaxes, it contracts and relaxes, but it does not expand to the whole. Alright, so this option is gone. If we talk about the intestine, does our intestine have the property to expand and relax? There is a movement in intestine, it's peristalsis, but peristalsis is contraction, relaxation. It's like this. Contraction, relaxation. Contraction, relaxation. So it's not the expansion. So this option is gone. Now coming to the lung. We inspire, we expire. Our lungs also expand, but not that much. All right. So our lung, if you inhale any, if you inhale a water in your lungs, it will expand, but you will die, because they do not have that property. They cannot resist this thing. So lung is also gone. So what do we have? We have uterus and urinary bladder. So the thing, expansion, remember, transitional means expansion, and in our body, what are the organs which expand? First of all, a urinary bladder. So when you have a feeling that you have to go to pee, so your urinary bladder, it fills with the urine, and when it gets fully filled, you get the feeling, now I have to go, isn't it? So our urinary bladder has the property of expansion. That's why it can hold the urine in it. If we talk about the uterus, oh guys, you know that uterus have a good power of expansion, it has the property to expand, because a woman holds a child inside it and it gets expanded and it gets relaxed after some time. But always remember, the expansion is not permanent, but it is temporary. Expansion is temporary. This will help. So expansion is temporary, and now just read these options and see which of the organ is temporary expanded. No, 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 yes. Oh, isn't it so easy to learn, to remember? So this was about the transitional epithelium and the organs which are lined by this epithelium. Coming to the next question. Okay, what's the question? It is the tissue lacking blood vessels. So it means tissue, it's talking about tissue which is lacking blood vessels. That means which is avascular. So here we have to find out which tissue is avascular. So this is the main point. What do we have to do? We have to find out of these tissues which tissue is avascular. Alright. Now, nervous tissue. This tissue cannot be avascular, because this tissue is very important tissue, as this tissue forms the nervous system of our body. So how come the nervous tissue cannot have blood supply in it? So this option is also gone, because nervous tissue has the blood supply, and our body, our nervous system cannot, remain without the blood vessel, without the circulation. Now coming to the muscular tissue. Yes, we have muscles, and our muscles have blood vessels. We have nerves there, isn't it? So whenever we talk about the muscular tissue, they do have blood supply. Alright, because these muscles, they get nutrients from the blood only itself. So they cannot be without blood vessels. If these muscular tissue are without blood vessels, they will not grow. We cannot grow our muscles. So we will get weaker and weaker day by day if we do not have any blood vessels. So in some cases, when there is any accident, or when there is any pathology there, when your blood supply is hampered, you can say peripheral vascular disease. It's one of the disease there. It's very, it's just above your knowledge. Peripheral vascular disease means the disease of the vessels. So in that case, this muscle tissue, it does not get the blood supply. So that's a different case. So this option is also not the correct option for this question. Now coming to the connective tissue. Connective tissue itself has it has a loose, dense connective tissue. It has a vascular tissue, and vascular tissue has lymph and blood. Blood is itself a type of connective tissue, isn't it? So blood is itself a type of connective tissue, so this cannot be the option. And now, what option is left? Epithelial tissue. So if you remember this epithelial tissue, these cells, they have basement membrane, and these are the epithelium layer. So what happens in this, these cells here, they are tightly packed. And same with the superior layer, same with the preceding layers. these cells, they are very, very tightly packed. So they do not have any space in between them. But this basement membrane, it provides this epithelial, it does have nervous what we say, circulation, not the circulation, nervous, what we say, if these have these epithelium cells, they have the tight bonding between them. The cells, they are tightly bonded. So they do not have any space to allow any blood vessel in them. So the blood vessels cannot penetrate here. They are not penetrated till here. So this epithelium lacks blood vessels. But they do have nerves. The nerve innervates the tissue, but the blood vessels does not innervate the tissue, because as the cells, they are very, very tightly packed. So just because they are tightly packed, the blood vessels cannot innervate it. They cannot go through it and provide the nutrition to the epithelial tissue. So our option is A option, that is epithelial tissue. So this was about the tissue which is avascular, and that is our epithelial tissue. So tissue is lacking blood, that is epithelial tissue. Coming to the next question, that is, which one of the following types of cells is involved in making of the inner walls of the large blood vessels? So here we are talking about the blood vessels. Okay, blood vessel, it has 3 layers. If we talk about this blood vessel, it has 3 layers. All right, it has 1, 2 and 3 layers. Inner layer, middle layer and outer layer. And now we are talking about the inner wall. So we are talking about the inner wall, so we have to talk about the inner layer, isn't it? So inner layer, if we talk about this, we have, it's known as tunica intima, and this is known as tunica media, that's middle, and outer is tunica externa. So here we have to talk about this internal. So guys, if you remember when we study the epithelium, so we have there one type of epithelium. So we have here all the four types of epithelium: cuboidal, columnar, squamous and stratified. So cuboidal epithelium, these are cube-like cells and they are present in the different glands and different organs. Alright, they are the brush border cuboidal epitheliums, different things. So columnar epitheliums, these are the column-like cells, and they are also not present in the blood vessels. So cuboidal epithelium, it's not present in the blood vessels, isn't it? And if we talk about the columnar, it's also not present in the blood vessels. Now the thing is stratified and squamous. Now what is stratified? Stratified epithelium, it's the multilayered epithelium. Okay, if we talk about the squamous epithelium is a single layer of epithelium. If you remember, this squamous epithelium, it's also known as pavement epithelium. And there is one more thing that squamous epithelium is called. It's also called as wavy epithelium. These are the names of the squamous epithelium. or you can say tessellated. So wavy means if this is my cell, normal cell, if I have this normal cell, so if we talk about this wavy epithelium, we have like this. So this wavy thing is known as tessellated and wavy, this tessellated epithelium or wavy epithelium. So this type of epithelium is present in the blood vessels. Why do they have this tessellated epithelium? Because these smooth muscles, partial or incomplete formation of smooth muscles. So our blood vessels, they are made up of the smooth muscles, isn't it? So if there is a partial or incomplete formation of the smooth muscles, getting my point? So this just because of the partial incomplete formation of the smooth muscles, these muscles, our blood vessels are composed of smooth muscles, and this smooth muscle, their inner layer, they get partially formed, they get incompletely formed, and they appear wavy. So the epithelium here appears wavy. So which epithelium is called as wavy epithelium in these options, that is the squamous epithelium. So stratified means multiple layer, but we do not have multiple layer in our blood vessels. We have a single layer of epithelium there. So this option is also gone. So what is left? That is squamous epithelium, which is also called as pavement epithelium or wavy epithelium. So remember, wavy. Alright, so why wavy? Because this blood vessel, they do have this layer, inner layer, that is wavy, this inner layer that is wavy, just because the partial formation of the smooth muscles. So we have this option, that is squamous epithelium. So this option is correct for this question. Alright, so now 8th, that's 9, sorry, not the 8th. Okay, so hyaline cartilage is found in, so you guys need to remember that hyaline cartilage is talking about the cartilage, isn't it? So all these, let's read the option: eustachian tube, epiglottis and pinna. So these larynx, nasal septum, tracheorhyngx and ribs, joints between the vertebra, between rows of the chondrocytes in the lacunae. So here it's talking about the hyaline cartilage, or you can say hyaline cartilage. So what is it saying? That this cartilage is found in what? Is it found in eustachian tube, epiglottis, pinna, larynx, nasal septum, tracheorhyngx, or joints between the vertebra? Now this cartilage, it's glass-like cartilage. It's transparent cartilage. So if we talk about these joints, they do not have this hyaline cartilage in them. So this hyaline cartilage is present in joints. I'll write it here. Or you can say it is present in joints So if you think about this option, joints between the vertebra, this hyaline cartilage is present in joints, but joints are movable. But in movable joints. So, does these joints move? The vertebra that we have, does our vertebra move? No, it does not. So this option is eliminated. So this joints between the vertebra, it does not move, and this is present in the joints, but the joints are movable. It's present in the articulating surfaces. So hyaline cartilage is not present in joints between the vertebra. So this is gone. Now if we talk about the larynx, nasal and tracheal rings. So larynx, they have the paired and unpaired cartilage. So we can say thyroid cartilage, coccygeal cartilage. So this is not the option. This is also not the option because they have the another type of the cartilages there. They do not have the hyaline cartilages there. Now what about the Eustachian tube? Guys, this tube is present in ear. This tube is present in ear. Alright, epiglottis. So it's here, epiglottis. And the last is pinna. So what is pinna? This is external ear. I cannot show you my ear, but I have drawn here. This is external ear, so it's pinna. And this is Eustachian tube that's present in the ear. So this cartilage is present in, if you remember, this is hyaline cartilage is present in the pinna. I have explained you that this cartilage is very elastic. See, if you press this pinna, or you can say if you fold it, it's very elastic, isn't it? So this joint, this hyaline cartilage is present in Eustachian tube, epiglottis tube, and or you can say epiglottis and pinna. And the other option is larynx, nasal septum, tracheal rings and ribs, joints between the vertebra and between the rows of the chondrocytes and the lacunae. So guys, just go through it and try to find out which one is the correct option for the hyaline cartilage. So just read and just try to find it out, and I'll explain you how. I have already explained you that it is present in the joint, but in the movable joint. Now it's your time to just see which is the correct option. So you guys just, if you want to just note it down what I have written here and just try it and make it clear. So guys, what was the question? It was hyaline cartilage is found in, and these were the options. So first of all, I told you that hyaline cartilage, it is present in joint, but it's present in articulating surfaces. It is present in joints, but you can say present in joints both in movable and non-movable. Alright, so it is present in joints. So if it is present in joints, what things come to our mind? That is joints between the vertebrae. So vertebrae, they do have joints, isn't it? But the joint is not movable. This hyaline cartilage, it is more commonly found in the movable joints, like we have TMJ, this joint. We move our jaw, so hyaline cartilage is here present. So our knee, when we walk, hyaline cartilage is there also present. So hyaline cartilage is mostly present at the articulating surfaces or the joint surfaces, and which are the movable joints. So more commonly present on those joints. So what was the first option? Eustachian tube, that I told you, is present in the ear, and epiglottis, it's the part of the larynx, and pinna. So I told you the external ear, your ear. If you just touch your ear and press your ear, so what do you see? Does it get pressed? Yes, it does get. So what kind of cartilage it is? It's elastic cartilage, isn't it? So this Eustachian tube, epiglottis and pinna, they don't have this hyaline cartilage, because first of all, it is present in the joints, and second thing, it's weakest. Can say weakest cartilage among all three types of cartilages. Alright, now it is present in the joints and it's the weakest cartilage. So we have hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage, and we have elastic cartilage. So the pinna, it has the elastic cartilage, see, it can be pressed from anywhere. So it has elasticity in it. So this option is eliminated from the list. Now what comes there is larynx. So if we talk about the larynx, have a, I have previously told you that it have a paired and unpaired cartilage. It doesn't have. So if we talk about the nasal septum, if we talk about the tracheal rings and ribs. So guys, here joint between the vertebra, it's not the hyaline cartilage, but what all options are left? Between the rows of chondrocytes. What are the chondrocytes? These are the cells which are present in the lacunae. Okay, these are the mature chondrocytes, mature cells. So joints between the vertebra, and joints between the vertebra, I told you that hyaline cartilage is not present there as it is a weak, but these joints are very strong. So they form our skeleton. You know, we stand if I'm straight just because of the spinal cord. I mean vertebra, not the spinal cord, vertebra. So what option is left? Larynx have, but it does have a ring of a hyaline cartilage. So previously I told you to find out, to read, and to just remember, recall the things where the hyaline cartilage is present. So I have told you that previously, just wanted to check you that this is not the option. So I told you that this is not the option, this is not the option. I left this and this. So what you guys decided? What is the right option? So if we see and if we recall the things, the right option is B, because larynx, it does have a ring of a hyaline cartilage, Not the whole thing is, it has a cricoid cartilage, it has different larynx thyroid cartilage, but the hyaline cartilage is also present there, but in a small ring. Nasal septum, that is the bone in between our nose. Is it elastic? No, it's not elastic, and it's weak also, this cartilage. So this is hyaline cartilage is present here. So tracheal rings, the trachea we have, it's also not elastic, so we have this hyaline cartilage present in the tracheal rings as well as the ribs. So these are the larynx, nasal septum, tracheal rings as well as the ribs. These structures have the hyaline cartilage present in them. So we don't have hyaline cartilage present in the vertebra, and we don't have hyaline cartilage present between the rows of the chondrocytes in the lacunae. If this is our lacunae and these were the chondrocytes. So we did not have here, we did not have hyaline cartilage present between the rows of chondrocytes in lacunae. Does we have it? No, we don't have any cartilage present in these chondrocytes. This option is, first of all, this is totally eliminated. This is totally, wrong option. We cannot think about this option. So then these three, as you know, that epiglottis, pinna, these are the, pinna is this elastic cartilage, and talk about the larynx, nasal septum, tracheal rings, yes, they do have hyaline cartilage in them. So this is it. This is it about the hyaline cartilage question. So this was about the 9th question. Now coming to the next question. So what is the next question here? The next question is, covering membrane around the muscle fiber is known as. So guys, what are the options? It's neurolemma, it's plasma lemma, sarcolemma and myolemma. Okay. So myolemma, it's the, myo means muscle. So it's the muscle covering, but it is the covering of the muscle. Yes, it is the covering of the muscle. The covering membrane around the muscle fiber is known as, we have neurolemma. These are regarding to the, just relate, it's neurolemma, just relate. This is plasma lemma, and plasma lemma is present in nerve cells, and this is sarcolemma. So sarcolemma is the, is sarcolemma the right option, or myolemma is the right option? So what do you think? What is the right option among these 4 options we have? That is neurolemma, plasma lemma, sarcolemma and myolemma. So guys, what I think the right answer is, the right option is sarcolemma. So sarcolemma is the covering membrane of the muscle fiber. Okay, so this is the, we do have muscle fibers, we have striated, unstriated fibers, unstriated muscle fibers, and this sarcolemma is the membrane covering around those fibers. So the option is sarcolemma. And now coming to the next question we have, that is that I skipped, that is the layer of the actively dividing cell of the skin is termed as. So these are the options we have. Now if we talk about the layer of the cells, I mean skin, layers of skin. So just begin with that. So from outer to the deepest, if we go from the outer layer to the deepest layer, first comes our stratum corneum. It's the upper layer. And what does this layer have? It has dead cells. This layer gets shed off. Okay. Now the second is stratum lucidum. So do we have this lucidum option? Yes, we have. And we do have corneum option also. Let's begin. Let's see which one is the appropriate layer for this thing. Stratum lucidum, this layer is present only in palms, sole of feet. Alright. Now the third one is stratum granulosum. So this is the third layer. Stratum granulosum. Now what happens in this granulosum, we have in this layer we have production of keratin. That's a protein. In this layer, keratin production takes place. Okay. Now, this is, if we come from the outer to the inner, this is the first, second, third, fourth. Fourth will be our spinosum, stratum spinosum. Spinosum. What happens in this layer, that this layer provides the strength as well as the flexibility to the skin. Strength and flexibility. So this layer provides the strength and flexibility. Now the last layer, that is the deepest layer, is stratum basale. This is S here. Now this layer, this is the innermost layer, okay? This is the innermost layer. I will write it here. This layer, just to, so that you people can see it clearly. The stratum basale. This is the fifth layer of the skin, or you can say the deepest layer of the skin. Now, what happens in this layer? Keratinocytes are produced here before they move to the upper layer of the skin, other layers. So this is, if we go from the outer to the inner, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But if we go from inner to the outer, this is first layer, that is stratum basale, then comes stratum spinosum, granulosum, lucidum and corneum. So what do you think? Can this corneum, if it contains the dead cell, can this layer have the power of division? What do you think? So we have to find out which has the dividing cells. has dividing cells in it. So do you think that dead cells can divide? No, they cannot divide. So this option is eliminated. Now coming to the stratum lucidum. This lucidum, this is present only in the palm and sole of the feet. So this layer is present only in the palms and sole of the feet. So what do you think? So this is not present in our other parts of the body, other parts of the skin. So this option is also eliminated. This option is gone. Now coming to this one, stratum granulosum. So stratum granulosum, what happens in that, there is a keratin production takes place. So keratinocytes, they produce a keratin here in this granulosum. So now then comes the stratum spinosum. This layer provides the strength and the flexibility. So they do not divide, the layer does not divide here. So now coming to the deepest layer, that is stratum basale, or you can also say it's also called as this will obviously this will get clear to you. Stratum basale or germinativum. So this layer is the deepest layer, and this layer produces the keratinocytes. So what happens in this layer? The layer of actively dividing cells of skin is termed as. So which layer is actually dividing? Obviously this layer is dividing because it's producing the keratinocyte cells. So the right option is stratum germinativum, or you can say Malpighi, because this is after the name of the scientist. This name is given to this layer because he discovered it. So the right option will be this one. The last one is the right option. So that is stratum germinativum. So this was about some few questions regarding the NEET from the structural organization in the animals. So guys, there are so many questions out there that you need to go through and study because it's very vast. So what I will suggest you, just make your basics clear. Just go through each and every topic and read it and memorize it, but don't mug up. So just try to memorize it and try to understand all the parameters given in the chapter, so that you can easily attempt these questions in your coming exams. So thank you so much. Goodbye.